year. It is easy. Interesting. Trademark check your Bluetooth. I don't know what that is, but some glitches, probably IG. Oh man. We've got full Wi-Fi. At Hardscape, what's up? Well, oh yeah, Bob, I got a text from you. I got to return. I apologize. Okay, so here's one thing. This time of year, and especially even going into the fears of a sketchy economy and stuff like that, it is easy. And we talked about this yesterday when the folks that didn't sign up for Andy Mulder's edging training yesterday. By the way, if you didn't come, you screwed up so bad. For $800, there were 5 people here. They had Andy all day and pick his brain all day, and you can't buy one-on-one coaching with him that cheap. So that was a killer value for them. We sat around for the afternoon.
Ryzen bought a badge.
Ryzen, thank you.
Reason?
First badge. Don't forget to thank them.
See, people need reminded to be good people.
Thank you, Ryzen. I appreciate it. Or Reason. Remember that old candy Brit Reason? Remember that? Man, I hope it's not that grainy and crappy looking on YouTube.
It is.
But, well, then how do we fix it? Is it because the camera?
Camera.
The camera. Wow, that sucks. Boy, YouTube's got it figured out. Beal, hey. I was going to see if Beal wanted to stop by and get a podcast since he was waiting on his long-term drive home. Anyway, but this time of year, and even it's scary with the economy, the talk of the economy and stuff maybe on the decline for a little while or whatever. Yeah, picture's great. Good. On Instagram, it's got it figured out. YouTube is pretty grainy. Not bidding work right now out of desperation or fear more so. This time of year, if your spring's not super booked up, let's see, your C10 high. Do you want to do the highs for me while I'm talking and all that stuff or whatever? But it is easy right now to take on work that you maybe aren't in love with for the spring. Taking on work that you maybe normally wouldn't do, like let's say peak season once the phone's really ringing and banging along. So I want to encourage you this time of year to kind of stick to your guns. And I'm preaching to myself here too, of not taking on work for the spring that you wouldn't normally do. So be it brush clearing or gutter cleaning or whatever, or even some, landscape hardscape type, Mitchell, what's up? Those kind of things, because it is easy to bid out of fear and the scarcity mindset, if you will, not the abundance mindset or whatever, if you're into all that stuff. Because the phone's going to ring. As soon as the weather jumps up, which right now we had a thunderstorm here in Central Ohio this morning roll through, which was pretty wild. Travis is here at the office. By the way, we're coming to you from the Company Cam Studios, by the way. Big thanks to Company Cam. But it is easy to be scared that that the phone just won't ring. And even Andy, we're talking about that at lunch with Andy and the group, all the great group of guys we had in yesterday. And we're talking about every spring you think, you're not going to have any work, right? You're not going to, the phone's not going to ring this spring. This will be the spring it doesn't ring or whatever. And even Britt, you remember when the first year we quit lawn care, that going into that winter, we only had one project scheduled for that spring. This is 12 years ago or more. And remember I said, I was afraid that we weren't going to get more work.
It was after our first really big hardscaping project that you said that. And you're like, what if no one calls us now? It's like, okay. But it should be the opposite. You should do a good job and the client's neighbors should refer you. You're like, you should have a good reputation in the neighborhood when you're done there.
Yeah. So, so that was a fear a long time ago. We got out of lawn care, because the grass is going to grow, you're going to need to cut. And we got out of that. And I really was concerned at one point of like, where's the work going to come from? And from then on, we've never been slow. As far as workload goes, you could say to the effect of my mental capacity, speed is one thing, but we're going into the season. I even caught myself the other day on the phone with a potential client looking at a project that's a little farther away than we would normally look at. And it was out of that mindset of like, well, we don't have a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline right now. Parsons is up. And it was out of a scarcity mindset really. So, stick to your guns, hold the line, if you will, and don't be taking on work that you're booking for peak season now, like, your March 1 jobs, your mid-February. We're still working. One of our guys was out in the field yesterday. We had our guys working here at the shop, finish up the paver work, got that really good looking out front, which was cool to have going on while we were doing paver training inside, because we kind of bounced back and forth inside and outside. Inside and outside, seeing live paver real world install. And then I wouldn't say the theoretical, because that's what we focused on, was the actual practicality of setting up good base, good foundation soils, things like that. But back to like the scarcity mindset of bidding, it's so easy at this time of year to be answering the phone and committing to work from March, April, all that. That's not the work you would really want to do. And by the way, not at a price point or such an easily attainable price point of people that are hot to trot in the spring when the phone, because isn't it funny when the weather changes in the spring and it'll be cold one day and then you get one day that's like 55, at least, and how the phone will buzz that day like crazy. And then the next day it's cold and the phone dies. It's just so funny what it does to the psyche of people. So hang in there. Don't take on work, take on whatever. If you can be productive this time of year, absolutely go hammer at it. And maybe that's the time of year you take on some stuff you maybe normally wouldn't or don't love to, because there's just not a lot else going on. But the stuff that you really want to do that's weather dependent, and that turf and timber, hey, what's up? You want to try to hold out for that. I reference this all the time. Mark Bradley with his company had, exactly, Lawn Vibes, that first nice day. Confident, how you doing? That first nice day of the weather in the spring, the phone goes bananas, and you want to wait on those calls of people that are excited and maybe even sometimes a little behind the eight ball, they didn't plan ahead a lot and they've got graduation parties coming up or whatever, and they need that work done in the next couple, 3 weeks. That's going to allow you to bring a little more premium or a big premium in that price, as opposed to crap work you scheduled out of fear back in January that you've got to do in place of the stuff that is Sam I am there. Hello, out of Chattanooga there, and recently engaged and married now. I don't recall. They got married there. They got engaged together in trades, which was such a cool thing.
Someone asked a question.
Did we get questions?
What's the cost of your shop?
Well, I'll tell you to the penny.
We're actually going to make a YouTube video on it. But we're not going to actually tell the final amount. You're going to have to go through and add it up yourself.
What I can tell you is the shell was $200,000. And then from there, how fancy you get is entirely going to be up to you. First nice. Oh yeah. So Ditch Itch has such an interesting business model. I really need to get them on the podcast. And I've tried to do that and I've dropped the ball generally there. So I apologize. First nice weekend where people work outside in their yards and catch poison ivy is when his phone blows up. Can you imagine the Google search of like how he must dominate if someone types in like how to kill poison ivy or whatever. By the way, big announcement here at Chapo Amano. Rio Amano has just breached the driveway. So just a little bit ago, the river has overrun the driveway. So just a heads up there. But as far as cost of the shop goes, how many fingers and toes do you have to cut off for it? The shop? So far, I got all of them. And Lord willing, we're not going to have to lose any of them. Thank you, John at Green Foundry Co. Partner here. No, I mean, but that's a shell. That's no concrete. That's no site work. That's just a shell, sticks and metal. I mean, we got essentially we've got double, 2.5 more into that building that way. So, but I mean, how much you finish it out is up to you. What was that look for?
Your number's high on that.
I don't know. I don't think you're very good at math. The
I don't know about that, but
oh my gosh. In North Dakota to Southeast Texas. Oh wow, you had a business move from there, from North Dakota. Who is this? Double J. Their transition from landscape Minot or Minot, don't know how you say it, North Dakota to Southeast Texas. Oh my heavens. Not having to factor into frost winter weather is a learning process. I bet. Yeah, I mean, you've really got to change how you look at booking work, right? You don't get a big off season necessarily to John Henry, what's up? You don't get like so much of an off season to get booked up. So that's interesting. Let's see here. Ditch Itch. Yeah, I would agree. Bob, what's up? Yeah, podcast also. Brittany's face. Yeah, she's always something. Ditch Itch had a patio. So Ditch Itch, my father-in-law just had a patio put in here in Mexico. Guess how much it was? Oh, I bet it was.
I'm scared to find out.
I bet it was a value for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. Materials are all different. Labor is all different. Hey, West Virginia, what's up? What else we got going on here? YouTube. The Joel Isaac asked, what percentage of gross revenue would you recommend spending on marketing if you want to grow?
I heard numbers the other day of someone said 4 to 6%.
2 to 4 is what I think I recall. But regardless, let's hover at 4. 4% of gross. That's providing that. I mean, gross is. I mean, that's awesome and all. But if you only have a 1% profit margin or 10 or whatever, I mean, it's all going to make sense. But the numbers we saw, I think somebody even mentioned on here, 2 to 4%. Well, let's go 2 to 6.
But you also want to make sure that you're not just advertise. So advertise specifically for what you want to do. If you're a landscaping company and you only do mulching, don't put an ad out there for everything, just trying to get work. There's still work out there to still do specifically what you want to do. We don't need to be desperate.
So Andrew here is getting lippy on YouTube, but he says, you always talking numbers. Now you don't want to say, let's see here. Are you over budget, embarrassed? No, it's none of your freaking business. That's the answer. But what I will say, because our shop build is going to be different than yours. So what ours ended up being is none of your business. But what I can tell you is the shell was $200K, which would handle most landscapers. We're actually relatively on budget. We're a little bit over, but, and yeah, I'd say you're pretty close. You're within range there, which was budget, by the way. So, because we put a podcast studio in here. Most shops are not going to need that. So our numbers of our shop are irrelevant to a landscape contracting company. So that's why I would say the shell was $200,000, and then how much you finish it out from there is going to be, entirely up to you. So, but
we have 2,100 square feet of office space.
Yeah, so it's insane. Yeah, and that's just one floor. It's actually 4,000, right? Actually 4,000 square feet of office space. So it's absurd to even try to give a number out that would make sense or be reasonable to even
for someone else to use as a budgeting number.
Right. Absolutely. Because, you can price out 30 by 40 shells. And by the way, I kind of jumped all over Andrew there. Maybe, that's a problem with tone in text. You can't read it. So, maybe it was meant to be a little more lighthearted than that. I apologize. Growing Green, never heard of him, but I'm sure she's a nice lady. I actually have seen her. She's got really pretty hair. Let's see here. Do you think?
Okay, hold on. Okay, hello from West Virginia. Do we have 2023 revenue goals?
Andrew says, "Why so testy?" I don't know. The tone of your last thing seemed
2023 revenue goals.
Good question. I don't know. Do we have a revenue goal at the moment?
Unfortunately, we haven't set our budget for the year.
We have not.
So,
which is next week's goal.
Things have been a little crazy getting ready for the training this past week. So it's been backburnered. So there is our honesty there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we will. But the goal has been now.
We have to have a budget now,
next week. We will be setting our budget, but it'll definitely be the 7-figure mark for sure. Whether or not it's to double or not, I don't know. We'll see.
Do you think the Hardscape Academy will help me even though I'm in California? We have different materials and methods in this area.
Well, methodology is one thing. If we're talking flexible pavement systems, there's no methodology difference, or there shouldn't be anyways, because all the principles are the same. Subsoil compaction, geosynthetics, compaction of base materials or application of base materials. And then whatever material you're setting on top of that is, whatever. Now, if you're doing veneer work on top of poured concrete and slabs, yeah, that's a different methodology. But if you're actually doing dry lay, interlocking pavement systems, there's no difference between California, Alaska, Ohio, whatever. It's all the same principles. So I would say yes. But if you're looking to come here to learn some mortar masonry skill or something like that, no, we're not teaching that currently.
If you weren't currently building the shop, what would you be focusing on, and or type of projects would you be doing this winter?
That's a good question. Steel cuts. We would be still operating out of, it's kind of funny because we had to get out of where we were at, but if we weren't, let's just say we're here and we're focused on, a huge focus is going to be on just keeping guys busy, selling work, keeping work booked up as best we can, working on equipment, fixing stuff up to be ready. Like our mini excavator, the lights aren't working on it for some reason. So that was one thing I asked Mr. Bo to handle today here, on top of a few other punch list items here in the offices and buildings. But a big thing of it is just trying to figure out if we can keep busy enough to keep guys on staff, or if we need to lay off for a couple weeks and go back at it. But I mean, for the most part, we've kept busy right up to about now. And we've got some approvals on some other work here just today and yesterday. So that's cool. So that'll keep us going a little bit more here through the winter, as long as the weather holds. So I think we'll shut down the guys at least for a couple weeks here, the end of the month, maybe February sometime, maybe not. We'll just see what the weather allows us to do. So far, it's been awesome. So.
Okay.
Gas in my eye. See, Britt, if it had any other title, it wouldn't live. Wait, Growing Green's mouthing off. So hold on.
No.
Nope, never mind. Okay. Or maybe John just responding to that.
And to think I was going to buy the peasant a badge, not anymore.
Oh, you probably couldn't afford it anyways. By the way, that's Jeremiah Jennings, Growing Green Podcast. We bust each other's chops pretty hard all the time. So
okay,
Jeremiah's awesome.
Awesome job with the first training. I just finished the retaining wall course at the Hardscape Academy, hoping to start my first wall in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Congrats.
Cool.
That's awesome.
What did you guys touch base on in the Hardscape Academy when working near trees? Ditch the itch. Feel he's going to be critical if we didn't say the right thing.
Well, we did touch on that. And boy, the tough thing with a 2-day session is like, there's so much information to try to get out, right? But we did touch on trees, and ultimately it comes down to two things: the conversation with your client of how much they value the trees, and what the potential consequence is of disturbing tree root systems. And I equated or liken it to ripping veins out of your arm. You know, your hand is going to die, right? And or strain or struggle, right? Or have dieback. And so if we get in there to excavate for a patio and we're tearing out a bunch of tree roots of a mature tree that's around, that tree is going to suffer. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that in mind, that we're valuing the tree with the client. The way I value trees with clients is I ask them, how much would I have to pay you to cut that tree down? And I'm like, heck, man, $1, and you can take that tree down. Cool. I know that tree's not worth anything to them. They're like, oh no, like we love that tree. The shade's amazing. You know, whatever, $20,000, something like that, $5,000. We had trees out back to the house on the southern side of the house where our patio is. I asked Britt at one point, you know, she wanted a Honda Pilot at the moment and a car. And I was like, would you trade these trees for your Honda Pilot? And she wouldn't. So that told me those trees at that time, the budget and everything we were looking at, the trees were worth 20 grand or whatever our budget was in cars, back when things were cheaper, you know, back in the old days. So long story short, we did touch on that. Anything else going on? DNG on YouTube says, good luck with the plans. You grinders have the future. Thank you. We're doing all we can, man. We're going hard. Thanks, DNG.
Will you ever stream your in-person classes online? You know, for us unvaxxed Canadian folks.
Yeah, I know. You second-class citizens up there.
We might do one at one point, but we won't stream every single one of them, but we're considering doing one. The problem is it's 18 hours of streaming. So
what I think we're going to do in February is, and by the way, on behalf of the sensible and reasonable Americans, so far as I understand, like unvaxxed Canadians cannot get in the United States. And so on behalf of reasonable Americans, I want to apologize. It's an embarrassment to be doing that to people that are just making a choice to not be part of something. Anyhow, so what we are going to do, I think, we're going to host webinars that are topic specific. So I think we're going to, in February, host a webinar just based all on cutting techniques, cutting pavers, cutting radii, miters, bevels, all that stuff. So I thank you for the hearts, whatever that does for us. We appreciate that. CC Hardscapes. Hey, I need to get you on the podcast, man.
You should make a list.
I lost his cell phone number twice because I'm an idiot. So CC, if you'd be so gracious as to DM me again, and we can hopefully connect. Also, Pushy
or you
Six
can
is
DM me,
the
and then I'll just take care of it.
And Starbuck Excavation is going to be on the podcast this month, which is going to be really fun. He's awesome.
He's funny.
He's from Australia.
Maybe. I think our sense of humor is like. We'd be hiring more guys this year.
Yes, that's the intention. We will be looking for. I feel like we missed stuff up, but maybe.
No, I got it.
But we will be, we are going to be looking to hire a fourth person, and then too, if we can find any more like foreman quality people, sure, and or just anybody with a positive attitude that's willing to learn and is excited to run equipment and do cool stuff. Yeah, we're looking to grow that into things. Now that the shop build is pretty much over, ish, we're gonna be able to focus back on the company. That was a whole podcast in its own right. Virtual training, yeah, absolutely. We have online training videos for retaining walls and help me, Britt, pavers. You know those flat things, the flat things put on the ground are made of concrete. We got those, and we got our free stuff, free videos, free chain videos. Yeah, steps, fire pits, all that stuff at www.thehardscapeacademy.com. All one thing.
What do your guys do? I'm assuming if you have guys work at the shop, or do they not work?
This year and with the shop moving forward, and that's one of the things of building our budget. You know, we try to recover 12 months of overhead in about 10 months so that we can budget to have guys on staff through the winter. And this year it's going to be fixing a lot of stuff that's been put off for like about 20 years of repairs and things. You know, like I was mentioning earlier, like our mini excavator, the lights aren't working on the exterior of the cab. So, you know, just fixing stuff so that when the weather really turns proper.
Like the jumping jack hasn't had a gas cap.
A proper gas cap.
The gas cap right now is a Gatorade bottle lid with duct tape and zip ties.
It's totally safe and proper. But yeah,
but there's no leaks.
Yeah, right. But so stuff like that, just lots of little things that are going to need fixed. But a huge part of that is budget, making sure that you can set your budget up. And again, our friend John Pajak, who led a financial session here at the show, or here at the Hardscape Academy in-person training for a total of 3.5 hours, I think, between 2 days, talked about how to recover that money, how to pay for your trucks, how to pay for your equipment, and pricing out your work, trying to provide a lot of extra value. Because the biggest thing is you can learn the hardscape techniques. That's all good. And this class was tailored more towards the class of 2023 here was tailored more towards owner operators in this situation. And so we want to make sure that, because you have to make money, you have to recover the expenses of all that equipment and stuff to actually be viable in construction. So otherwise you'll go broke.
What's cool in our budget this year, we'll be able to take some of our, because we usually take stuff places to get it fixed. So now that we can bring that in-house more, we'll be able to actually take some of that budget that we have for maintenance and repairs every year and bring that in-house.
Yeah.
Keep the guys busier. So
how did you figure out your hourly rate for machines? Just recently purchased DWS K800. Congrats. That's awesome. If you haven't had machinery all along, you will wonder how you ever got by without it. You really will. And that's what I should have told Brett Eichenberry with Eichenberry Lawn Service yesterday. He's considering buying a mini skid steer. Now he's only a year in, but you will find yourself wondering how you ever got by. Andy Mulder.
Every time we buy something, it
was always like, how do we ever get along without this? But the big part of that initially is to just look at rental rates maybe and just price that into your job. If it's a week rate or a daily rate or whatever, they know equipment overhead, equipment recovery costs. So use that as your quick cheat sheet.
Which is what we did for our first equipment purchase, our first Bobcat. Every time the thing went out for a job, I just charged in our estimate the daily rate. And then when we were done with it, when we were done with the job and fully paid, then I paid that money onto the skid steer. And so we were able to pay it off really fast.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's a quick and dirty of it. Otherwise, then talk to johnpajak.com or get LMN or any of the other budgeting software. And it'll help you figure out how to recover that stuff.
So I think you can figure that in Element for free.
Check out the free Element stuff. So, here we are on YouTube again. How to sign up for the cutting webinar. Thank you for asking, Andrew. I appreciate that. We don't have it live yet. Keep an eye at the hardscapeacademy.com or get on my Instagram at Auman Landscape, or shoot us a message or something here on YouTube, please. And I'll keep you on an email list if you would be interested in such a thing. But we'll be sending that out. I think we'll do that in February. So we're as good as committed to a cutting webinar, by the way. And I'm going to try to maybe have Andy stream in for a minute. Jeremy Swihart has said he would do a training session with us. So keep that in mind. That's going to be pretty sick. But let's plan on a cutting webinar and it'll be live too. So you can ask questions live. We'll go for probably an hour. It'll be really good.
Okay. I love what you guys are doing. Me and my wife run our company.
I'm so sorry.
We love seeing other people in the industry doing the same.
Oh, he's insane like us. Okay, I got you.
Cool. A friend.
Yeah, maybe check out Together in the Trades.
Do you guys work when snowing? Just depends on where jobs are specifically at that time. So we don't not call them in because it's snowing.
Oh, the guys are out cutting a countertop right now for the kitchen in the whatever.
Pros and cons of open grade systems versus dense grade.
How much time you got? Long story short, pros of open grade is the less compaction that's necessary. So you know all this stuff, just say it. By the way, Rio Mono continues to grow out in the front field out there. Andy finally saw where Rio Mono rips through there. So Andy, it's across the driveway now in case you're still watching. Yeah. But open grade, anyways, less compaction effort required. You can put in all 6 inches at one time and do one compaction lift over top of it. Now, with dense grade, you could do that with a proper size compactor. Most folks don't have a proper size compactor, but it still takes effort, and you still contend with some settling and stuff like that. Con of open grade, water management. You just want to make sure water that does get in there can get away if the circumstances require that. And dense grade, you need 30% more material because of the compaction ratios. It requires intense compaction force. That's a big deal. And then two, something else that's super underutilized in the industry. We talked about this is geosynthetic base. It's so underutilized in the industry. And while people are finally coming around to open graded stone, everybody's still got a hard-headed objection to geosynthetic base, which is those foam mats, foam pads. Those things are fantastic. The only time they make sense, though, is when the grades allow it and you don't have to add any extra base other than the 1 inch of base material it already requires. It's insane. It's amazing. Waddell, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Which machine would you purchase?
Mini skid steer, without a doubt. For the first machine.
Oof. I lost $500 worth of brick in the process of learning.
Yeah. I mean, dude, and that's one of the things we were trying to drive home in the class yesterday was like, it's no endorsement of IQ saws because they got their own they got plenty of problems, but the table saws will really allow you to cut very accurately. Now, for cutting your curves of your patios and stuff like that, you still got to get out there with a hand saw or a demo saw and do all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It takes time, and just consider that. And you didn't lose $500. You invested $500 in education. Look at it that way. But you did. I mean, now that you spent that $500 in material,
next time it'll only cost you $200 extra.
Think about it. Yeah, but I mean, for real, like that was your investment in education. You can't just inherently know how to cut well or handle a saw well. So it was just a little investment in education. No issue there, man. Don't even consider it a loss. Brian's 10 code for Hardscape Academy. Only if you go to brians10.com, which we own, by the way. Just to throw that out there. Hey. Didn't we? Oh, there was a question down here. How to sign up for the web? Yeah, again, thank you, Andrew, for that. Andrew, we can be friends, man. I'm sorry. Maybe I was being harsh there to start. What would you upsell material to a customer? It depends on your overhead recovery structure, single overhead recovery, multiple overhead recovery. That is something you're going to talk to John Paycheck about. I think we're at like 20. I think we're at 20% maybe. Let's see, you're 20%. Yeah, but again, it might vary totally, and it will actually no. It will vary totally by how your company is set up financially, and that's why it's so important to get LM in. Go lmn.com, use promo code Auman, please. That means the world to us. Otherwise, you get
a month free.
You get a free month if you use our code. That's why that's right. I forgot that's why we're using it. You get a month free. That's cool. But it will help you straighten your company up. But Chad's in here. Look out.
John Henry says there hasn't been a deal made on brians10.com yet. Nope.
Pony up the money. That's all I can say, pal.
No one's willing to pay for it yet.
The best diamond blade you believe in. All the diamond blade companies suck, to be straight up right out the gate. The products are good. The sales culture around all those companies suck. The least annoying company in the diamond blade sales world that I am aware of at the moment is a company we work with, because otherwise I wouldn't work with a lot of the other diamond blade companies. Latix, Latux. Shoot them an Instagram message, which actually reminds me, Latix IG. Somebody said they didn't get back with them. I wanted to follow up on that.
Their IG was hacked, so they have a new page.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. So that's why Andy Motor actually told me that yesterday, because we were, he's like, he said he was tagging them or something like that, and no one was responding. And he finally reached out to one of his old like contacts there, and they said they were hacked and they started a new page.
I'm so scared to read Chad's question here because
I've never done job costing in my entire career. Is it worth it for me to find out if I'm at the ceiling for what my commercial market can accept? Just keep going.
Yeah, man, screw it. I went a long time without doing that, buddy. It worked out great for me. I wrecked my first company, folks, just in case. Chad there, the Landscape Daddy, the Landscape Daddy is kind of his satire account, maybe. He does some awesome big commercial jobs up there in the great Canada land up there. But no, you definitely, whoever it is, no matter who you are, you need to be doing job costing. And it's not something we do awesome about. And I tell you, dude, I'm not great at it. We're still not doing it.
He says he's serious. He promises. I
hear you. We don't do it with every single job, and shame on us, but I'll run through in my head. I know where we're at, but this year coming up, that is one of the big goals is we will be tracking that. We have to. But in your head generally,
we have a rough idea. We just don't know. Andy Motor knows it to the penny.
To the penny, and that's no joke. To the penny, every job.
To the penny, to the day. Like he knows it daily.
He's a psycho like that.
And then he adjusts as he goes.
Yeah. But yeah, Diamond Blade thing. But anyways, the least annoying Diamond Blade company, Lattice. Check them out. We have a promo code with them. Auman. It'll get you 20% off a Diamond Blade purchase. Tell them what you're cutting. We use the perfect storm blade and a hurricane blade. They do really nice. So. But like I said,
I have a Diamond Blade guy calling. He calls every morning at 9 a.m.
They're terrible. They're probably from Blades Direct or some awful company. Don't give those guys your number. I'm telling you, you'll regret it.
Someone said that they tried to buy Brian's10.com and it's taken. Yes, I own it.
Yes, we own Brian's10.com. We own that. And I told Brian years ago he should buy that. And he did. So I went ahead and bought it. And so how the turns table, you know what I mean? One of these days I'm going to say that, dude. I have okay. Back to the job costing thing real quick. Auman does now this month have job costing they're releasing, which is going to make this super easy. Andy does to the penny job costing with Auman and QuickBooks paired together. That's why he's stuck with Auman, so far as I understand. Because there's other job costing softwares out there. I mean, there's a ton of them. Aspire, Synced Up, Horizon. There's tons. We like Auman. We bought it for a while, and then we became ambassadors for them. Whatever. Widener, what's up? Robot mower revolution. I have a Husqvarna robot mower. We got it pseudo set up in the fall and ran out of time, and it's going to mow my grass this spring. So, Lattice, thank you, Britt, for taking it in there. So yeah, I am all about the robot mower. If I can get one big enough to mow this front field, I am going to. I do not want to.
You're getting a robot sweeper for the shop.
I just hooked up a robot vacuum last night to sweep the offices. Yeah, because the mud in this place and dirt in this place is going to make me a crazy person. Widener, what's up? So yeah, I'm all about the robotics, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, folks. And this AI stuff that's coming through, it is going to be really weird for the next couple years or 6 months. It may go so fast. This AI stuff is going to be really interesting. Let's see here. Stonescapes, hi, what's up? Rio Amano update. The river out front continues to grow. So
we need a robot boat to get you.
We're going to need a rowboat to get out of here. But we appreciate you guys checking things out and going through there. Thank you, Mike. I think Mike here, how to Hardscape. He has a template also, howtohardscape.com, I believe, for your job cost recovery stuff and all those things. That's definitely one of chance of going to a 5 or 6 day work week. No, I think we'll run 4/10s forever. It's a great morale booster. People like it. It's also a great morale debooster when people got to work Friday, like Travis does not like. Thank you. Our stuff come?
Yeah.
All right.
Our order.
Yeah, the FedEx parts and cool stuff.
No, that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What the heck?
Pull up the door. Said, you got anything else? He's like, nope, that's it. So
okay.
I'm going to truck coming.
Okay, that's weird. So, probes.
Nothing good comes of
Pro-
signed envelope.
Yeah, that's not good. Probes. So we got an unboxing here. It's probably some sort of we're getting served papers for some legal situation going on here. You're making me nervous, Britt. What is it? Pull it out. Don't show anybody in case we're getting sued or something. We ordered a bunch of stuff, and we're partnering and working with Probst. It's a pave and hardscape tool making company. Hey there, Ferris Mowers. What's up? Great podcast with Ferris Mowers there on Key Contractor Podcast. You might check that out. What is this, Britt?
FedEx says it's a legal notice of refused freight. So it says that we refused our paver.
Why would we have refused that?
Probably because you didn't return their voicemail.
Oh, that's that a long ago? Good grief. Okay, whatever. All right, FedEx, whatever. Well, anyways, that stuff's supposed to come today. So Paver Tech, or formerly Paver Tech, now Probst, they're providing a lot of materials for the Hardscape Academy training. So paver lifters, air pneumatic stuff. Air pneumatic is all that stuff is going to be in the academy there. It's going to be really cool. So yeah, Mama Wam. I still don't understand. Mama Wam. I thought that was a palindrome where you say it's same backwards as it goes forward. So like, whoa, Nemo, toss a lasso to me now, says the same thing backwards as it does forwards.
Only you would know that.
Palindrome. I had a whole book of those. It was so fun. So yeah, thanks again, Platzer. Appreciate it. Any advice when convincing clients you're going to provide a quality product when just starting in pavers? Also appreciate the constant informed, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. Luke Habrick. Yeah, that's the tough stone, a Sisyphean task, if you will. My friend Mike Rowe, he and I talk about every 38 years. But it's a phrase I learned from him, Sisyphean or Sisyphus. It's you're rolling a stone up the hill. It's your curse for quite a while to get that book of work under your belt, so you can keep showing your better book of work. So one is always promote your last best job. And just keep promoting your work, and it will grow and grow and grow. You're not going to get asked to do a $1 million job your first year out or second year out, unless someone's looking to take advantage of you. So keep in mind, like, you get offered a really big job and you're not super experienced yet, and that person knows it. They're looking for a deal. They're looking for a discount. So be careful with that. But in the meantime, it's just slowly, don't just take on anything. Just take it on. Take on work that you're confident. Here's what it is. I think you should take on work that it's either a heck no, or you should not take on work if it's a heck no, that's too much for me, or if it's I don't know, I think we can do it, then I think it's time to do that. But if it's a heck no, don't take it on. It'll be the worst mistake ever. But just as a slow roll forward. It'll take you probably 3 years to really get a book of work built up that'll really start rolling you into bigger jobs. 3 to 5 years is kind of that timeline. It seems to me, the 10,000 hour rule, right? To where you're like expert level. So 5 years, 2,000 hours, expert level.
Thoughts on crypto bouncing back? Do I hold?
Oh, I think it's going to, and I'm going to slowly buy.
That sent us those
NFT trading cards.
Send it back to him.
Yeah. I'm going to write. No, this is not financial advice, but I've continued to invest in the stock market, even all the way through it's called dollar cost averaging. You just keep buying it no matter what it's doing within reason. Right. And now the stock market's on sale, and it's probably going to keep being on sale. So we're buying stock every week, every month, as our budget allows, right? As we've planned, maxing out our IRAs every year. And with crypto, I don't think it's a bad place to be, only not as an investment, but just almost like a gamble, if you will. But I think crypto will come back up at some point. What crypto? Don't know. But anyway, my last name is, well, yeah, that makes sense, I guess, huh? That's funny. Thank you, Mama Wam. I appreciate it. Great interview with her on, I can't remember the Honda motorcycle she rides, but it's a CR 360 or something. So it was a great interview. It's really cool. So a lot of talk about ergonomics and how even something as silly as a comfortable mower seat will actually allow you to work longer. So it was a great conversation. It's cool. Key Contractor Podcast there.
What's a great breakdown on big jobs for taking payments from start to finish of the job?
It's all relative. What is a big job? I don't know. But what we do is we'll do pretty much anything over $7,000, let's say. we'll always do $1,000 scheduling deposit, right? That gets you on a week of the year, right? Wherever we're next scheduled.
Not a specific day.
Just the week, like the second week of August, second week of June, whatever. That gets you in there. And then we constantly keep our clients updated as to what that timeline's looking like. Like, hey, we're already behind, whatever, or hey, we're running ahead, whatever. And then after that, we kind of just break it down a couple different ways, but we'll try to break down jobs. Go ahead, Britt. You always do. You're the one that usually writes this.
So the first one is the scheduling deposit. And then second, we do materials arrive on site. So if it's a paver job, we'll send pavers there. And as soon as they're delivered to their doorstep, they own them. So they're going to pay for them. And then we have a draw for whatever day we begin the work. So as soon as we show up on site, they get another invoice. And then it's just completion things. So like sidewalk laid but not cut in, or landscaping installed but not mulching. So I'm really specific in what it is. For a while, I did just like sidewalk installed, but that meant that it had to be sanded in, edged in, compacted, everything. So now we do sidewalk laid. And you need to communicate that with your guys.
Pavers installed but not cut or cut in or whatever.
So you need to communicate that with your guys so they know what they have to get it to. Well, you guys, you can't just start the steps and not finish it and move on to something else. We need to finish the steps so I can get that draw payment.
Yeah. If you want your paychecks to clear next week, this is what we got to get done.
And we try to keep the draws. So I try to keep the draws around anywhere between $5,000 and $7,000. I don't want them to owe me more than $5,000 at the end of the job.
Absolutely. Because you don't want a client being mad that the grass isn't growing and holding 50% of your money back, right? Got a wise guy here, Daniel H. Still haven't grown in your adult teeth yet. Actually, they're all there, just one shorter than the other. And wear brace when you're young kids and you get braces. Wear your retainer, keep your teeth in check. So, yeah.
Do you use any business credit cards?
CB350. Thank you.
We have a Chase Ink card that we use.
Yeah, I mean, we run things on business credit cards. Stretch at.
We have a Lowe's card.
Yeah, Lowe's card. Yeah, so we'll do that.
And they have like 60-day payment terms or something.
Yeah, the Lowe's thing's crazy, but yeah, we'll use business credit cards to pay for materials, to stretch it out, especially on commercial work.
Yeah,
and all that. So yeah, we don't have anything against using business.
But that's also, we use the points to travel.
How do you accept payments? We're doing so much stuff via credit card now that anytime
we literally do.
Sebastian,
we literally do 70% probably just through QuickBooks online payments. Caleb used to be like, "Oh, we got to go pick up this check from someone." Like they could have just put it in the mail, and like by the time we got over there to pick it up, they could have just put it in the mail. And once we turn on the online payment thing, people pay like immediately.
Yeah. And that cash flow and that just surety of being paid is a big deal.
We budgeted, so like the 2% credit card fee or whatever is added on, we budgeted that into our actual budget for the year.
Yeah. Like we have like $10,000 a year in credit card fees, which is nuts. Cause you think of that, like, man, that's a lot of money. Like if we could just get people write checks, but chances are you're going to be waiting on those checks, or like
people are psyched to put it on their credit cards because they get
right
for it.
And so we have just accepted that, and then we have put that $10,000 worth of fees into our budget every year, so it's just recovered in the job costs anyways, and we don't even worry about it.
Do you ever have a customer that doesn't pay, and how do you handle it?
We haven't
had that in a long time.
But it's because of a couple things. I would say it's not saying we won't have it. I wouldn't say it's because we won't have that eventually at some point, but vetting of customers and then a structured payment system. And we will stop working if we don't get paid, but we just don't generally work with clients like that anymore. And so deposits up front, and then we don't, if it's somebody I feel sketchy about paying, but I mean, that's the purpose of like draw payments. If it's a $5,000 job or whatever, like that's why say you'll be there all week working, like, hey, Wednesday we need to check, Monday we need to check, Wednesday we need to check, and Friday we need to check because we'll be complete. And we just don't let anybody, but we generally just don't even work with clients we even think that's going to be an issue.
We have a bad feeling about the job. We usually we'll just price our way out of it.
Yeah. Well, we just don't. Mr. Fossey, what's up, man? Mr. Fossey, great dude there on IG there. He was here at our training, and a young kid, he's 21. And he's going to trainings and stuff like that.
I need to send him the picture of the boys. With
he left an older snow blower here for the boys to do their grass cuts, lawn and snow business work with, and that was so cool and thoughtful of him, man. No entiendo. I better not say it out loud because I don't know what it is, but I apologize. I wish I knew what that meant. But thank
Let me see
you.
your phone.
Saludos. I'm going to guess that maybe it's like salute or hello. Hi.
Let me see your phone.
We'll see. Yeah, you're going to translate that. Cool. Thank you. So, Rodriguez Perkins, hello. But yeah, I mean, that's the deal with the structure. So then when it comes down to it, if you're not getting paid on the project, there is a balance of what is it worth for your personal time, an attorney. Generally, as much as I hate to say it, it really begins at the front of like just vetting that client and doing your payment structures more ahead of the curve so that so it's more in your favor for just such a circumstance. And then learn how to write off that bad debt and taxes and all that stuff. But I mean, we've been collectible, pretty much 100% collectible for the last few years. We did have a client pass away mid-project this year. It was really sad circumstances. A really great dude. But we were in the middle of a project with them, and he was in a tragic car wreck. And if and again, our payment structure was set up well, and thank the Lord. Prime Outdoor, what's up? See you tomorrow, man. Unfortunately, that payment structure was set up and organized in a way that allowed us to not be hurting on materials or even the labor as far as progress payments and stuff goes. And then their son, thank you for the hearts, whoever that is, was involved in the company, and the company was stable and organized enough that even with his absence, the company could move on that we were working for, and hardly missed a beat. And that's why we don't do 50-50 payments pretty much. I mean, because if something like that were to happen, now they've got half your money, and you don't want to go to a grieving family to get your money at that point, right? Or like say that company was barely holding on and he knows how everything runs, and he's the only one to sign checks and all that stuff, and that gentleman's gone or something. And dude, you might wait 6 months to get paid, a year, who knows, or not get paid at all if the company was like borderline insolvent. So, which it wasn't. They're super stable, super good folks. And it's just so sad, such a sad situation. But anyways, things like that'll happen.
I don't understand, but Horica says it's an insult or something. So I don't know.
I don't understand the insult. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Maybe about the teeth.
It says the expression is very rude.
Probably about the teeth thing, maybe. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. It doesn't bother me. All right, so Andrew's getting lippy again here. I think Andrew and I can be friends though. Don't blow a gasket. What are average price for buying pavers in your area? Well, buying pavers, we buy pavers at about, quality Unilock product. Beacon Hills, $6 or $7 a square foot right now. It's getting expensive, folks. It's really getting expensive.
But that's only applicable in our area.
Yep, it might be $13 in New York. It might be $45, but that's not what we're installing them for. That's what we're buying. I'm taking your question very literally. I cannot share what we are installing them at. I will not do that. Too many.
Have not.
While I've got a lot of friends here, I also have some folks that are gunning for us, and I can't share that exact number. If you DM me, I'll talk more in person about it. But publicly, we're not going to give out our rates and stuff like that. We can't do that.
Have you tried the Venture Mile reward card? Nope.
I don't know. Have we?
Nope.
We do a lot of airline mile stuff. That's pretty cool. That was. I am crazy, first off. But the retail pricing, no, that was, our cost is somewhere between $5 and $7 square foot for just the paver. Again, for a super quality paver, by the way. It's all good, Andrew. It's all good, man. We're cool. It's all good, buddy.
Who is your favorite landscape guru?
Oh, who asked that?
I think he asked that last time.
Well, it's always, I have my favorite gurus and I have my favorite not gurus. So my favorite not gurus have got to be the landscape daddy, without a doubt. Those guys keep it real. What airline credit card do we use?
Southwest.
Okay, there you go. Costco Air.
We've had the Southwest airline card for a long time.
Where they cut on the maintenance and pass those savings on to you. I think that's Spirit, actually.
Actually, if you pay attention, you can get a Southwest card to where you get free companion flights for a year if you sign up new, if you wait for that promotion. So last year, Caleb signed up for the card, and I got to fly for free everywhere last year.
But you got to cancel it, which by the way, we're getting due to cancel that thing, right? So we don't get fees and stuff. That's where they get you, because she'll probably forget, and then we're going to pay a fee because we're dumb like that. But yeah, the paver price stuff, it is definitely going to be a regional thing. Chad, you're awesome, dude. We were just saying the other night, like, dude, me and Jeremy are like, man, we want to go drinking with you someday. I bet you're a blast. Now, drinking to me these days is like 2 beers and that's it. I'm done. But I'm just out of shape, let's say. Anyways, and not condoning that behavior, by the way, either for the kids in the room. You guys have Landscape Daddy. They have a podcast, Not Our Finest Hour podcast. It is not for everyone. I will say that forever, guys. It is, man, what didn't get added out of a show the other day, I couldn't believe it. Regarding hard drives and stuff like that. So, geez, God knows what you're going to say on there, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So
and
you're
boy,
saying that they can't be on the Kid Contractor podcast?
It is so no, they know how to act. But I do want to preface that show with, when anytime I mention it is not for everyone, and that is the truth. But man, they tell some real stories, man. Of if any contractor out there would say they haven't had some of those experiences, that contractor will lie to you about other things too. How to get into landscaping? Really, the quick of it is a friend of mine next door. Him and his dad started a lawn care business, and I just started working for them one summer, and then I realized I wanted to run my own company, and then it was on from there. And I was like 15, so that was kind of it. Got into a point in my mid or late 20s. I thought I was going to close everything because my company was crashing. That's an episode on Kid Contractor Podcast, episode 100, 101, and 2. We talk about that, like 3 shows long. It's like 3 hours. But it's kind of my story and then her story involved and all in between. So, holy cow, Brett, what time is it? We're going to be on for 7 more minutes. What part of Ohio? We're in Columbus, Ohio, just for quick reference, but southeast of there, actually, beautiful Fairfield County, Ohio.
About like 25 minutes.
And then the hardscapeacademy.com. What's your favorite thing about hardscaping? Just the raw nature of the construction aspect of it. I've always liked building. I've always liked construction. And so, digging in the dirt, putting in base, compaction, the equipment, and then you also build something very cool and refined at the same time. And it's just a blast.
I think it's cool. We're like interior designers for the outside.
There you go. You can
be creative.
Well, we should type in like the hardscapeacademy.com, but just check out, please, if you will, www.thehardscapeacademy.com, thehardscapeacademy.com. How much profit you aim for on top of your overhead? That's up to you, man. I mean, what do you want? A 5% profit margin, or do you want 20 or 30? And true profit, and I'm going to have to break this down real quick. True profit is what's left after everyone and everything is paid for. So including the owner's salaries. So yeah, you pay your guys, you pay all your materials, and pay your rent and shop rent and phone bills and all that crap. And then what's left over after that is your true profit. And again, johnpajek.com can help you with that. LMN can help you with that. By the way, I saw somebody switching over to Synced Up. So congrats, you're going to love it. That is what's going to help you figure out what your costs are and then what kind of profit margins. But I think you definitely should be shooting for, the smaller you are, the higher your profit margins should be, because people are getting a very detailed personal service. The bigger you get, the harder it is to maintain. When you get like $1 million plus, it gets harder to maintain some really high profit margins because there's just so much stuff that gets lost. But management and diligence of it can allow for some really good profit. We aim for 20%, but
what you
not all
need to do is figure out how much money you want your business to make and how much money you want to make, and then work backwards from there.
Yep. And that was favorite thing about landscape. That's a good question. How do you get the public drainage work jobs? Well, public draining work jobs, those are going to be on bid rooms. Chad would be the person to ask that, really, the landscape guru there, the landscape daddy. But I mean, there's first you got to get your company in really good order. Make sure you're in order. Make sure you've got lots of insurance and all the right bidding or bonding and all that crap. If you're going to do public work, there's a difference between public and commercial. Public is, municipality, stuff like that for cities and things like that. So what I think you mean is like, how do we get into the commercial drainage work jobs? That is going to be what you want to do is reach out to property management companies and reach out to them and start advertising that work to them and do a small job for them, really wow them. And you're going to learn a lot on those jobs. I'll tell you right now. Don't let them push you around price wise or anything like that. and be confident in your pricing and all that stuff. And but yeah, just start hunting up property management firms and just start advertising that you do stormwater management, and you can fix their basements or not their basements, their catch basins and stuff like that. And that's a great way to get all sorts of other work too. I mean, I Mike Andes has preached that for a while. Holderman, man, those guys, HLD, those guys are just doing some really cool stuff. I've been watching them for a while. But property management companies, again, some of them can be so ruthless and cutthroat. You've really got to weed through them and find the ones that what they're looking for is a quality contractor, not the cheapest contractor. What is the one thing you would change if you could do it over again? Ooh, the one thing? Is there the one thing?
There's nothing that's like that bad that there's like a bunch of little things.
I know. I wish I had more money to just hire out more stuff so I'd have to kill myself this year. But that's just the reality of it. But an architect.
Yeah. So I would have hired a real deal architect to go through and help design the layout of the rooms, the electrical plan, water plan, like a lot of that we just freestyled as we went.
And sometimes the chaos of it showed.
All the time the chaos of it showed because you're running outlets or I'm like, well, I really wanted a water spigot on the front porch. And Caleb told me last night it's too late for that. So like having a master plan for all of that.
Which we did have a set of plans, but that wasn't an architecture custom engineered. We had a general set of plans that were still good, but we didn't have like a specific exact set of architectural plans. Not for the building like this, it might have cost $5,000 or $10,000 to do that. And again, this for a multi-use building. I mean, my God, we got 4,000 square feet of offices essentially, and then 6,000 square feet of shop space. So for mixed use, I guess like a studio, the kid contractor company came studio, the offices, again, offices for guys, a kitchen, all sorts of stuff. Like, Martin, thank you so much. It's so kind of you. So like, again, for a regular shop that, you're just going to run your company out of, no, I wouldn't say it's necessary, but for something like where we're using it to the level we're using it, yeah, it would have been nice to have somebody that really is like, yeah, in my experience as an experienced architect, you want outlets here, here, here. Here's the wiring plan for it. Here's the schematics. Here's the wire specs. It's all the code. It's ready to go.
Here's exactly where all the HVAC, just that would have been helpful, especially doing it ourselves.
Yeah, which is a lesson for landscape construction.
And also for like having other, like the few quotes that we did get when people would come, it's like, oh, well, I want, because we did talk to someone about doing the electrical plan, but we didn't have an actual electrical plan. I'm like, well, I want like 4 outlets here, and it was out of hand. So
do we charge for 3D designs? Sometimes. Long story short, sometimes. If it's just a paver patio that we want to sell, get sold and all that stuff, yeah, we'll provide a 3D for it, no problem. If they need actual landscape design services, we're going to charge for that. And that could be anywhere from $250 to $1,500, just depends. Free estimates are paying what? Generally anymore, I am doing free estimates, free pricing, but I vet the client super hard, like over the phone. They got to send me pictures. It's got to be a referral, that kind of deal. If it's a cold call, we're going to vet that client so hard, chances are we're not even going to get to that stage of talking about an estimate. So we just, over the phone, just talk that through very, very heavily.
Have you talked about putting laundry in the shop?
We've talked about it, but we cannot because our septic system is not designed for it. So I didn't want my septic field to be any larger than it already is. Because we've got very limited space.
The river's getting wider.
Rio Mono continues to grow. We'll have to fjord the river here in a little bit. So then that being said, no, we do not have a laundry in here. We have 2 baths, 2 bathrooms, and a shop sink and a kitchen sink. And that's what we designed the system around. Oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock. I think we better jump here, Britt. That's that. Everybody, thank you for the input. Thank you for the kind words. And somebody bought a badge, I think. Thank you. That's cool. I don't know where that income goes, but thank you. It's greatly appreciated. It's just a thought, if anything else, that you'd be willing to do that. And even to sign on here at 11 in the morning, or if you're out in the West Coast. Thank you, Andy Ford. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Don't worry. I got enough. I got broad shoulders. I can take it. It's all good. I will get my teeth fixed at some point. My kids are all going to need braces and all that crap, so I got to make sure that's funded first. But at some point, I will fix my teeth. When I'm like 80, get a good set of dentures finally. Right, Brett? Probably when I won't get around to it. Folks, from the company Cam Studios here, Kid Contractor Podcast, Auman Landscape, the Hardscape Academy, Caleb and Brittany Auman, Together in the Trades. Anything else we're doing? Auman Landscape, we didn't say that already. Auman Environmental.
We'll be back next week.
Every Thursday for the foreseeable future, folks. We're going to be doing it. Thanks, Mr. Gonzalez there. I appreciate the kind words.
I'm going to get the phone number up and running so you guys can actually
call
in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Then we're going to do a live show. We will have the glass in the studio here this afternoon. So we'll really be buttoned up. J&B, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, folks, we're out.
Guys.
Take care. Sousa, thank you, buddy. We'll see you now. We're signing out. I hope I didn't miss that last
this
comment.
part last time you didn't hit end.
$2 from badges. Thank you. Oh, well, that's why. Okay. See